Dear students, good morning. Welcome to the today's session. So, in previous class, we have been discussed the two quadrant chopper and four quadrant choppers. In two quadrant choppers, again there are two classifications: type A chopper and type B chopper. So we have been discussed the topology as well as the how the graph has been drawn there. So then four quadrant we have been discussed here. Two type A DC chopper have been used here. Similarly, today we'll see the next topic. So that is dynamic braking using DC chopper. Okay, so let us consider the armature winding, the equivalent armature winding, or sometimes we'll call it as the DC motor armature separately excited DC motor or DC armature winding. It has the resistance Ra and the La, and it has the some back EMF. Okay, so that is connected with one switch thyristor. Okay, so then it is both the end of the switches are connected with the braking resistor Rb. So Rb indicates the braking resistance, and dynamic braking is nothing but the reverse current. Okay, so reverse current flowing in the circuit here. So that is Ia is going away from the armature winding here. So across the armature we have the Va. We need to find the armature voltage. Okay, so here we can observe when there will be a switch has been opened here. Okay, the T has been opened, then there will be no supply voltage in the armature winding. It means the complete voltage is zero here. Okay, if we have the closed switch here, the T, so then there will be some voltage across the armature winding. As the name indicates, the dynamic braking, so we need to break the supply voltage in the circuit using Rb here. Okay, we need to break the supply voltage here. So if we break the motor, okay, so if we break the equivalent motor here, the DC motor, by transferring the energy, okay, energy into the armature winding, by break the resistance, that is what we are going to achieve here. It means we need to stop the voltage across the winding here, okay, armature winding, by breaking the energy or by transferring the energy into the armature winding. So then if we break the armature winding, so then what we are going to achieve here? To make the current almost ripple free, or so we need to send the sufficient current into the winding here. Okay, because this is the regenerative current is sending into the circuit here. So we can assume that the armature current, the IA, whatever the flowing here, armature current is sufficient to make the current IA ripple free. It means we need to make it as small ia is equal to capital A. Small I is the armature current in the winding here. The I is the total current in the circuit here. So this small ia restricted only to the this winding. Okay, so that's why we need to achieve the small I is equal to capital I. So let us explain this by using the graph here. Axis indicates the time axis, y axis is the voltage and current axis. So as we seen in the previous class, if the thyristor switch is closed here, okay, or sorry, if the thyristor is turned on, okay, turned on, it means it is open. If this is open, so then across the armature winding VA is equal to 0 here, because there will be no supply voltage in the winding here, then our graph will be 0 here. So when we achieve the VA is equal to V, or if we turn on the switch or close the switch here, T thyristors, if we close that, then there will be current flowing in the thyristor, okay, if we close this. Okay, so then what happens, there will be rising the, or there will be some voltages. So this is the graph. Initially it was 0 here. Now after turning on or closing the thyristor switch here, so we have the voltage here. Okay, so then it cycle repeats 0, or it's open, it's closed when the switch is closed. Okay, so then this is the VA here, armature voltage here across the winding. So now what we do, so when there will be some voltage, so it has the exponentially increased current here in the switch here. When the switch is opened, at the time there will be exponential increasing current here, because increasing current is flowing in the braking resistors. Okay, that's why it is increasing current here. So then when there will be closed switch here, so then it starts decreasing due to the closed switch here. So this I call it as the small I. So we are going to make the sufficient current in the circuit, so the armature current is equal to the, this IA is equal to the capital IA in the circuit. So then this will becomes the same, I is equal to IA. So now we need to calculate the energy consumed in the resistor RB. So because when the back EMF as it's some voltages in the armature winding, so that will be flowing in the braking resistor also. So we need to calculate some energy consumption by the braking resistor. So then energy consumption En is equal to IA square into RB. Across the RB we are going to calculate here, or we are calculating, so that's why it's En is equal to IA square into RB. So now let us draw the only current circuit here. Okay, only current consumption of the consumption of the motor here. So as we've seen that this is the T on, okay, this is the T on here. So this is the total duty interval T, capital T, okay. So now if I draw this, so I will draw this here, okay. So in separate, okay. So after that, so this is the dotted line, so like assume that, so this portion. So now initially it was in open, there will be no supply voltage and there will be rising current, okay, dynamically increasing current is happened in the circuit. Now we need to calculate the in dynamic braking, in braking what is the current here. So after increasing, so there will be decreasing dynamic current, okay. So that I am highlighting here, okay. So only this current, so this current is occurred in the dynamic braking. So this I will call it as the T on, and this is the total thyristor T here. So it means the total current in the circuit will be T minus T on, is it right? Okay, so this is the, this much of current is flowing in the dynamic circuit here. So then we are written as the energy consumption in the resistor will be En is equal to I square Rb into T minus T on here. Then so we need to calculate the total power consumption by the, we need to calculate the total power consumption by the motor here. So P is equal to En divided by T here, okay. So now substitute En here, En is equal to I square Rb into T minus T on by T. So then I square Rb into 1 minus delta. So delta is nothing but the T on divided by T here. So we have discussed in chopper here. So that is nothing but the duty cycle of the switch T here. Now whatever we are observing, delta is a variable one, delta is a variable here. If we change the delta, then we are going to achieve that the power can be changed here, okay. If delta is changed here, the total power consumed in this equation is changed, okay. If any variable, so if you can take I, R, so you changed anything here, so then power will be changed according to the current here. So now if the power is changed in the motor here, then there will be torque is also changed, right, because both are in same phase. So then the effective braking resistance, the whatever we have here, the effective braking resistance will be written as RBE is equal to P divided by I square. So then if you are going to simplify this, so you simplify this equation, then P divided by I square is equal to, what is the remaining, Rb into 1 minus del, okay. Then P by I square is equal to Rb into 1 minus del is the effective braking resistance here, okay. Just observe the, then what are the advantages of electrical braking. So if you use the dynamic braking in chopper, then what are the main advantages of this electrical braking. So let us see. So there will be, first one, there will be no wear and tear of wheel or the tire. So it means, consider the electric vehicle. So when we are going to apply the friction on the wheel, so it does not produce any if we are going to apply some motion on the wheel here, so it will not produce any friction, because there will be no wear and tear between the road and the tire here. Okay, so that's why there will be automatic control of torque in the motor, so that's why there will be no wear and tear of the wheel or the tire. You can see this in both railway track as well as the uh, electrical vehicle. Okay, so then torque is control torque control is better compared to mechanical braking. So it means we can easily control the torque by applying the brake in the electrical vehicle, but in mechanical there will be some friction or losses will be there, or it creates some noises in the when we are going to apply the friction. That's why, so these are the some of the advantages over the mechanical braking with respect to electrical braking. So now we'll see next one. Next topic is closed loop control of DC drive. So as you know that, so any electrical system, when current is flowing through the system, so unless and until if it is not a closed loop, then we cannot control the speed or torque. Okay, so if same in the DC drive also, so if it is a closed loop, then we can control the speed as well as the uh, load we can easily control. Okay, so then let us assume that, so there will be one integrator, so connected with W omega star here. W omega star is nothing but the reference speed here. So then we have the actual speed omega m, that is connected with the speed controller, and speed controller is connected with the current limiter here. So we can draw like this current limiter. Okay, so this is the negative current limiter, this is the positive current limiter. Overall this set we will call it as the current limiter. Okay, CL. So then that is connected with some reference current, that is IA star, with the actual speed. So this reference voltage, call it as the plus, and this is a negative, and plus and negative here. Okay, so now that is connected with the current controller, and current controller is connected with some firing circuit. Okay, so overall these block diagrams are in complete series, but insufficient space I have taken this in next line. Okay, that is connected with firing circuit, and firing circuit is again connected with some controller. So converters are maybe here we are going to consider converter as a chopper here. Okay, so we can consider any converters, it may be DC to DC or DC to AC, AC to DC. Okay, cyclo converters. Okay, so depending upon your applications you can consider the converters. Okay, so then that those converters are connected with the motor. If we have the motor for controlling, we have some mechanical loads, right? Because ultimately we are controlling the mechanical load by these many factors. Okay, so now for chopper we have some DC voltage. Okay, supply voltage here. So then to sense the current in the motor, the actual current, so as a feedback we have connected the current sensor here. Okay, so connected here, so it will be like this. Okay, feedback loop should be like this, so it should be like this actually, but in my diagram it is somewhat complicated, don't get confused. Okay, so connected current sensor motor, and that is connected to the current node, that is feedback. Okay, so then we have one more inside the current sensor. We have one more loop here, so that is what we are connected in between the load and the motor speed sensor. Here we are going to sense the speed of actual load as well as the motor here. Okay, so that is connected with the this node here. Okay, so now it is a complete closed loop right now. Now we need to compare the reference speed and the actual speed of the load here. Then when the speed is fed on this node here, then it starts controlling, or sorry, it starts comparing here. There will be some speed errors occurred, no? So here there will be some speed errors have been found here. Okay, so then those speed errors are fed on the speed controller. It is going to control the speed of the motor. So again, speed of the controllers are many controllers are there. Here we have used the PI controller. PI controller is nothing but the proportional and integral controllers. After controlling the, or after propagating or integrating the speed here, that speed is fed on the current limiter. Here it is controlling the current here. Okay, then the current is going to limit here. Okay, so then after, so as I told, there will be two currents here. Okay, positive current limiter and the negative current limiter. Here the always the current limiter should follow, so positive current limiter here has the closed loop here. Then that is the output of current limiter is IA star, that is nothing but the reference current here. Then we have the IA here. So now IA star and IA are compared, then whatever we are getting error, so that is nothing but the current error. Delta IA is connected here, delta IA, then delta IA is fed on the current controller again. So again we have the current controller PI here. Okay, so here PI1 and PI2 we called, okay, proportional and integral controllers. So then the current is controlled by the PI controller, then that is fed on the firing circuit. Then fire circuit is set the firing angle of the drive here, then that is fed on the converter. Here converters are unidirectional here, so because current limiter is decide whether the current is in positive or negative or in both side. Okay, so depending upon that it is going to decide the converter. So if it is a unidirectional, or here it must be unidirectional. Okay, so one directional converters. Then we have the, as I discussed, current limiter, because this is the current limiter here, only positive current happened here. Then converter is fed on the motor, then as well we are going to measure the loads here. For example, for this best example for closed loop controller of a DC drive is in a textile mill. So we need to run the textile mill at a constant speed of 900 rpm, but sometimes it is failed to maintain the 900 rpm. Okay, so at that time, so they have this complete loop here to fix the 900 rpm or at a constant speed running the textile mill. Okay, so then that will going to achieve here. So now this current controller especially is faster than the speed controller. What we are going to achieve here means we have used two PI controllers here. So current controller is faster than the speed controller here, as if you compare both the controllers. Why? Because current controllers are going to control some electrical oriented variables like voltage, current. Okay, but in speed controllers, so it is going to control the mechanical variables like speed, pressure, okay, torque. So that's why always the speed control or mechanical variable controllers are slower than the electrical controllers, so or it is faster than the this. Okay, so this is what the closed loop, so we need to achieve greater than this. Okay, so this is the complete closed loop control of the DC drive. So let us see the next topic, so that is supply voltage, supply harmonics, power factor and ripple in motor here. So we'll wait for a minute. So because so it means, so when there will be, when we are going to give the supply to any drive, so there will be some distortion of the supply or noises in the supply. Okay, because in a weak AC source with a high internal impedance, we have the high impedance, so then there will be some current distortion in the source voltage, right? So that's why, so distortion of supply is happened here. So then low power factor, so assuming the sinusoidal supply voltage, so then the power factor of a rectifier we are going to calculate using the formula power factor is equal to apparent real power divided by the apparent power. Is it right? So then real power is nothing but the VI cos pi, okay, divided by the apparent power will be the RMS value, that is VI RMS. So therefore in power factor there will be some displacement factor. Then when the distortion factor in the power factor happened, there will be some current lower than 1. So that's why, so some low power factor will be occurred in the supply voltage. Similarly in third one, ripple in motor current, so how the ripple will be happened in the motor drive, because in the, if you consider the dynamic motoring, so there will be reverse current. Is it right? So then there will be some rectifier output is not perfect to the DC, but it consists of a harmonics in addition to the DC components. Okay, so then there will be some distortion in the motor current if it is a higher than the average value. So then there will be some ripples occurred in the motor current also. So this is about the theoretical part. You can go, if you want detailed of these definitions, you can go through the textbook, it is there. Okay, so with this the second module has been completed. So in the next class we'll see the third module, that is induction motor drives. Okay, so with this I conclude this lecture. So if you have any doubts, please feel free to contact me. Okay, so I will explain you. If you need anything or if you have any doubts, call me. Okay. Thank you one and all.